a year. So
what did they tell you? What do fighters tell you?
Do you know, I haven't spoken to any fighters that fought there, but I mean, I was there. I was working the Fox, you know, the pre-fight show and the post-fight show for FS1, and so I was there. I felt the energy. And leading into the fight, of course, Fox were doing like a big thing about being at Madison Square Garden, the historic nature of the event. And to be honest, I didn't really buy into it until I was there. You know, on fight night, and you could feel the energy, and you could feel how special it was. So, yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm excited.
Okay, now you're fighting George St-Pierre. So when this sport, let's go about 8 years ago, it started becoming a very public sport. George St-Pierre, there was Randy Couture, some big guys, but George St-Pierre was this middleweight stud, and he was... I could make the argument he was Conor before Conor a little, right?
Yeah, of course. George was the pay-per-view king.
He was.
That's what they've called him, the pay-per-view king. He was. You know, he had Canada behind him. He was a great fighter. You know, he was good-looking. He fought well. He was, not undefeated, but he went on I think it was 9 fights, 9 title defenses. So, yeah, I mean, the guy was a legitimate star, and rightly so. You know, incredible athlete, incredible fighter, and a good person.
Now, there are those, yourself included, that... This sport with Conor's future up in the air.
Conor.
People believe, do you believe that UFC would actually prefer George St-Pierre to win?
Well, I said this on my podcast, and it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing. But listen, if I was running the UFC, I'd want him to win. You know, because he, as I say, he was the pay-per-view king. You know, and pay-per-view generates a lot of money. Okay. I've got to play spoiler to that. I've got to go out there. I've got to beat him. See, with George being a welterweight, obviously he's coming up in weight class to fight me. He could also go down in weight and to fight Conor, and that would be a massive fight. So if he beats me, who knows? He could fight maybe Conor down the line, and that'd be a huge fight, massive fight. If I beat George, should I say when I beat George, touch wood, I can never fight Conor. Conor's about the size of my leg. I'm too big. That will never happen. But George versus Conor, there's a possibility of that maybe. So I was just saying that. I was just hypothesizing, you know, talking a little smack like I do, you know.
Yeah, no, I think what you're saying is basically... From a business perspective?
From a business standpoint, it's probably better for them, yeah. Now, I'm not saying that I felt that in terms of treatment or anything. Far from it. The exact opposite. The UFC treat me fantastically. I'm just saying, if I was a pure businessman, I'd want George to win.
You know, it's interesting. Daniel Cormier from this country gets booed by UFC fans.
Which is crazy.
It's crazy. Conor... Ireland, they love him.
Yes.
How are you treated by fans? Because to me, you're a tough guy. Not that everybody's not, but you get in there and throw blows. How are you treated by fans in this sport?
You know, listen, I often have too much to say, and sometimes I speak before. You know, I think, unfortunately, you know.
Great.
Yeah, no, I know it is great. It's great. I'm very happy being me. But, yeah, you know, mixed response. I mean, listen, it's like this. I'm an Englishman fighting in America. When I fight an American in America, I should be booed. Just like if an American comes to England and fights me in London or Manchester, they get booed. You know, so, you know.
Do you like that role? Do you like that?
I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. As long as people show energy, you know, you never want to be the guy where they just go... This guy, you know, like a golf club. Do you know what I mean? I love getting booed. I mean, listen, everybody wants to be cheered. Of course you do. Everybody wants to be loved. But as long as, listen, I'm happy winding people up. So that's why if I get on the scale and they're all booing, I'll give them something to boo for.
Michael Bisping. All right, 2 questions. November 4th, UFC middleweight champ with George St-Pierre, who's 25-2, and then he left the sport. 2 things. I always thought it was funny how my mom viewed the States. And my mom used to always say this. She was from Lancashire. Once got an orange for Christmas. They had no money.
Yeah.
And
it sounds like my mom. She used to say that you used to get oranges for Christmas. Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And they had small dishwashers, small cars. And my mom used to always say, the fact that Clintons could become president, like poor people.
Yes.
She goes, I grew up, you were a royal family. Like you were born into wealth. You could never. And so how do you view like you were at Dodger Stadium. How do you view our sports, our fans, our culture? Do you love it?
I think it's absolutely amazing. I really do. I mean, Also, I'm English and I'm fiercely British. You know, I'm proud to be English, but I've lived here for 6 years. My children attend school here. It's a fantastic land of opportunity. The people are great, diverse cultures, fantastic food. Of course, the weather's way better, you know. So am I saying all the right things, Colin?
No, but you were at Dodger Stadium last night.
Look,
and
hey, listen, I'll tell you this. I mean, I'm English, okay? So baseball, it was great. The atmosphere was amazing. Essentially, it's guys hitting a stick with a ball with a stick, okay? And they were all kind of going crazy. And I said, well, as I was leaving, I think the Dodgers hit a home run.
Yeah.
Go Dodgers. That's what they said, right?
Right.
But as they're leaving, they were going insane. I was like, wow, I don't think there's anything in this world that I care enough about to have that kind of a reaction. So I think the passion is fantastic. It's great.
Now, when you're a tough guy, this is a weird question, but I always thought, like, I remember hearing a story one time where some guy wanted to pick a fight with Mike Tyson, and I was like, you got to be drunk.
Yeah.
When you're a tough guy, and you're a cocky guy, you ever get fans sometimes think, hey, Bisping, why don't you come over here?
Yeah, of course. It does happen. I mean, for the most part, most tough guys, if you will, on the street, you know, like guys like Dorman, things like that, generally they'll all watch the UFC.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So most of them are respectful.
Yeah.
And they say, hey, you know, they'll give you a fist bump or want to shake your hand, and that's about it. Of course, you get some idiots out there. You get some drunk people in bars. That does happen. And you get a couple of losers here and there. We're going to segue into something I feel here.
Yeah. No, but I mean, you listen. You had a situation where, and by the way, when I wasn't going to bring this up.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I don't mind at all.
You had a situation where. So I'll segue into it. Where was it a restaurant, a gym? Where was it?
It was at a gym recently, and of course, so what happened was there was a very unfortunate incident.
Yeah.
And it was. I don't want to get into it too much because it's a lawsuit. I'm sure you appreciate.
Don't put yourself in the crosshairs.
And to be honest, I haven't even been served with any papers. Yeah. But what has been filed is completely unfactual, and it even contradicts itself several times.
Yeah.
And they're not only suing me, the party is suing the UFC, suing Zuffa, suing William Morris Endeavor,
the gym,
suing 24 Hour Fitness. Yeah. You know, so it's a frivolous cash grab, but you know, it is what it is. You know,
somebody came up with jerky.
God bless him. God bless him. God loves a trier. God loves a trier. I hope he gets rich.
Well, not off you, but I hope. By the way, how do you view... So yesterday, Jim Lampley, a very respected boxing announcer, Jim's terrific boxing announcer, and Jim came out a couple days ago and he said, you know...
I saw this.
And he said, you know, this was a cash grab. It was, Mayweather was winking at the camera. He gave him 3 or 4 rounds for Conor McGregor. When you watched that fight, first of all, I was there. I thought it was far more entertaining.
Yes.
But I never, and this was not a shot at the UFC, if you'd have put Mayweather in the octagon, Conor would have kicked his arse. I never thought it was that competitive.
Arse. Yeah, no, 100%. Listen, if Floyd did come to the UFC, Conor would destroy him in
minutes.
It wouldn't even get out the first round, and it truly wouldn't. And that's not me trying to be a guy that's pro-UFC or pro-MMA.
Right.
You know, that's just the facts of the matter. Conor would take him down pretty quickly, either submit him or, you know, do some ground and pound. Now, of course, he went over to boxing. Fantastic opportunity for the pair of them. We all know how much money they made. I think Conor did a fantastic job. He represented himself, the sport of mixed martial arts. I thought he represented everybody fantastically. Okay, some of the build-up, you know, it was kind of theatrical, whatever.
Right.
But it was super entertaining.
Oh, it was wildly entertaining.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, I watched it with about 200 people at a viewing party. Everyone was on the edge of the seats. When he caught him with that uppercut in the first round, we were like, oh, my God, is he actually going to pull this off? Is he going to knock him out? All right, okay. As the fight progressed, you know, Floyd was taking
the
charge.
boxer won boxing.
Yeah, you know, no surprise there, right? A boxer's going to fight an MMA guy in a boxing match. Who's going to win?
By the way, so if you believe, as you said on your podcast, that the sport is favoring George St-Pierre, that would lead me to believe if I was Michael Bisping, I would take him out early. I wouldn't leave anything.
So here's the thing. So George is a notorious slow starter. He's been away from the sport almost 4 years. The magnitude of the event is going to hit him when he's walking out on that night and the lights are on. That's a very different thing. That's why there's gym fighters that are great fighters all over the world in gyms, but they can't make it on fight night. They can't do it. They can't put it when the pressure's on, the lights are on, they can't perform. When they say go, I'm going to go at this son of a bitch. Part of my language.
Right,
I'm
just
go
right after him.
I mean, you know, obviously, I'm not going to go like a madman, but I'm going to be aggressive from the get-go and put it on him from as soon as the referee says fight.
I'm very excited. I find you wildly entertaining.
No, thank you very much. Me too.
You ever notice?
That's the problem. I laugh at my own jokes too much. That's the problem.
Good luck to you, Michael.
I appreciate